Hello and welcome back to my channel. We are going to talk about Hunter Biden, the New York Post story, what is in it, how it is full of crap, and Facebook and Twitter censoring it. So let's just jump into the first part. The New York Post released a story saying that Hunter Biden had agreed for a certain amount of money to introduce his father to Burisma people while his father was basically the vice president. And then Joe Biden used his influence to hold a prosecutor hostage or get him fired, and they wouldn't give any money over to the Ukraine, which is not what happened. Let's start off with that. The reason Joe Biden withheld money from the Ukraine over the prosecutor in the Ukraine has everything to do with the fact that the prosecutor was corrupt and the UN wanted him out, the European Union. The European Union wanted him out. The president at the time, which was Barack Obama, wanted him out. Leaders in Ukraine wanted him out. It had nothing to do with Hunter Biden and Burisma. Burisma at that time was not under investigation. Their investigation was paused. This has been debunked so many times. So many times. So now Rudolph Giuliani and of course Steve Bannon, the guy that scammed people for money for the wall and is a white nationalist and is absolutely disgusting, are saying that Hunter Biden dropped off his computer at a random computer store for being waterlogged that just happened to have incriminating emails on them. And then they went to the New York Post instead of the New York Times or the Washington Post or any actual reputable news source, because they would have taken one good look at this and they would have been like, you don't have good provenance. You've changed your story. First, they said it wasn't Hunter Biden. It was somebody that maybe was connected to Hunter Biden. And then they said, well, it sure looked like Hunter Biden. Like, they can't keep their stories straight. The computer repairman is a known Trump supporter who I'm pretty sure is being, heavily rewarded for his leaking of this email that we cannot prove exists to anyone or anything. It is likely not true. The myth of Joe Biden withholding money to save his son has been debunked over and over again. For God's sake, Donald Trump was impeached for trying to force this narrative. I genuinely think that they had this planned all along, that had he not been impeached, this revelation would have been released as a big October surprise, and Trump would have tried to use it to take down Biden, but he keeps throwing it at Biden, and it doesn't stick. And the fact that he keeps coming for Hunter Biden, he's come after Hunter Biden's addiction, he's come after Hunter Biden's kids. Hunter Biden is not up for election. Joe Biden is. Hunter Biden has some questionable things in his past, and I'm not exactly happy with his Burisma dealings, just because I don't think that he should have, while his dad was vice president, been on a foreign board. But that's just me. It wasn't illegal. I just think it wasn't exactly the most ethical thing. But again, Hunter Biden is not running for president. Hunter Biden has nothing to do with this conversation, and has been proven over and over again that Joe Biden did not withhold aid to help his son. He withheld aid and got a prosecutor fired because the European Union wanted it. The guy was corrupt. And Obama wanted it. So he was just doing his job as vice president, which is what he's freaking supposed to do. Okay, now let's talk about Twitter and Facebook. They have limited the ad. They even cut off Kayleigh McEnany's Twitter because she tried to share this fake, obviously nonsense story. And she's screaming, censorship, freedom of speech. First off, although I don't support it, freedom of speech, let's be very clear about this. Freedom of speech only protects you from the government. The government cannot silence you. The government cannot tell you what you can and cannot say. A private business, aka Twitter and or Facebook, has every right at the moment to censor whoever the frack they want. So it's not infringing on anyone's freedom of speech. They're a private business that answers to shareholders. So they're just protecting their shareholders. Should they have censored it? I don't think so. I think we're smart enough to see past it, and those who are like Trump supporters are going to find it anyway, and they're going to believe it anyway. I mean, there's no getting around the cult of Trump and the QAnon people that are going to take this and run with this. There's no getting around that. But I think most of us are smart enough to understand that it's not true. Should they have censored it? No. Should they have put a false story label on it? Abso-freaking-lutely. Until it can be proven it's provenance, which they won't be able to prove, I'm like 90% sure. It should have been labeled as potentially unlikely false information and a false story and fake news, but they should allow it to be seen. That's my opinion on the matter. Do with that as you will. The point is, they're still trying to push this debunked theory with a fake email, and I trust Rudy Giuliani and Steve Bannon about as much as I trust a cockroach. So, do with that as you will. Alright guys, I will see y'all later.